Okay, so I forgot to do the gradient mesh. We're doing that one on this video. Sorry. This will be short though. This isn't too complicated. Here's where we left off. I'm going to go ahead and delete these things. Now, I'm doing this cold, man. I haven't even tested it. I haven't used the gradient mesh in probably 3 years, but here we go. I know I can do this. I'm going to start off by drawing usually, if I remember right, it's easier to do it with a circle at first. Take all the fill and everything off of it. Make it clear like that. Clear with a black stroke. Okay, so here's our shape. Gradient mesh tool is this thing right here. See that? Mesh tool. Now this is an illustration tool, meaning we can try to create some realism with this thing to make certain types of things look fairly real. I remember in a class one time I had students try to create fruit with the gradient mesh tool. So they, I had a bunch of apples and peaches and things. So you'll kind of see how that can go after I get started here. But the way it works is you grab that thing and you come out here on your line, and you see how my cursor, when it's away from the line, it has like an indicator saying it isn't going to work. But when I get on top of the edge, it gives me a little plus sign. That means I can click, and every time I click, it adds what I would call a spline. Heard of that word? A spline on the line. A spline on the line. And depending on where you click, you see it's given us these different options. They kind of wrap around this thing like a globe type effect. And you can add as many splines on the line as you want. That ought to do it. Now, what's neat about this is you can click either where they cross, like on that point right there, and look at all remember the stuff from the pen tool? Well, it's all right here for every one of these points. So I can grab a point and I can move it like that. Or I can move the handlebars associated with it like this. So you have this control over see that? Over the shape of the curve using the gradient mesh. That's the first thing to know. Now, above and beyond this, in a second, it's going to be just absolutely you experimenting with it, okay? Now, what I would have students do next is to start assigning color to the piece. Now, you can either click on the dot like that on the points where they cross and add a color to it, like put red right there. I can click on that dot and add, different color red right there. Click on that one and add yellow. See this? It starts getting kind of crazy. Or you can click on the whole quadrant like that. See, I clicked right in the square. Whoops, come back. Click on the whole quadrant like that, and then I can choose another color, and it colors that whole region. So I'm clicking on all these guys, and there's no right or wrong, of course. You just have to play with it, see if you get something that makes some kind of sense to you. This is my strange Earth, okay? My strange Earth, we're calling it. Add some white and stuff. Okay, so, this is basically how it goes. You can even click on the edge, way out here on the edge of the shape, like that, way down there on that edge. Add color to the edge. You hit it right, not click on a point. Like that, see? Click in that quadrant, add some more color. And then when you deselect it, you see this thing. So you got to use your white pointer tool, and you got to click on certain parts of this. So I could bend this up and give it a nodule. Oh, okay, we can make one of those Willy Wonka, what do they call those Willy Wonka things, the something gobstopper deals. They look something like this, if I remember right. Whoa, okay. Gotta even give it a three-dimensional thing going on here. That doesn't look too right. That's pretty bad, actually. Okay, but you see the point? That's gradient mesh, and you can't really control how dense the gradient is or how loose it gets or anything like that. You're just working with those splines, and you can add more. Click on the spline tool and click on the line and add another spline in there if you need it. And that gives you even more control over it if you needed another lump right there and you want it to be white. Okay? That is the crazy gradient mesh. And I haven't used this much, and I don't use it much because I'm not really this type of illustrator. But I've seen some amazing things. I know a guy who used to make cars and airplanes and different devices and things like that using this. If you have any questions, I'll help any way I can, but other than that, you're just going to have to play with it and see what you can dream up. Look, I even pulled out a whole section like this. I don't know what happens if I color it. I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, that was fun. I'll see you guys next video for blends.